Should be live here. All right. So let me know, of course, first things first, if you guys can hear me loud and clear, and then we will go ahead and begin. Perfect. Awesome. I'm assuming that's good. Hey, Daytona. Hey, Frike. All right, guys. So, yeah, I just want to quickly do a live stream. I know it's been a little bit since we last did one, and, of course, we did end up seeing another breakout on Bitcoin, but I don't really want to touch too much on Bitcoin today just because of how choppy it is. I've talked about this many times before, is when you're in a consolidation zone like this, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. And this is where a lot of traders start to struggle, right? Usually the momentum is that if you're seeing a new breakout followed by consolidation, usually means it's another breakout. We've seen the same sort of situation over here, same sort of fake out, and you can see that pretty much identical charts, right? Previously on Bitcoin, it was around the 110.8. We consolidated for so long, people got tired. We had a fake out down to 98, and then of course, once we broke out, we saw the squeeze. This is the same sort of situation on Bitcoin as of right now. Now, I'm not going to be that person that's going to sit here and be like, okay, guys, we're going to enter some short positions here and ride it down, yada, yada, yada. And the reason for that is, again, nobody can tell you where exactly Bitcoin's chart is going to go. Even with technical analysis right now, we don't really have a trade here, right? This is just straight sideways manipulation. A lot of traders are getting wrecked on both longs and both shorts. And you guys know me that if the market is this sideways, I'm not trading. That doesn't mean that there's no opportunities in this market, right? We can talk about Ethereum because this was a very nice breakout trade for a lot of us in terms of the weekend. We actually saw Ethereum breaking out of the 3860 range, this wick high here. And I mentioned to you guys that, hey, look, if the wick high is broken, more than likely we are going to hit 3890, best case scenario into 3900. But that's going to be a major resistance in general. Now, the reason why I wanted to start the stream off with Ethereum is because I want to show you guys side by side to what happened in the previous run-up on Ethereum. And this is how I knew that Ethereum was looking for that fake out situation in terms of the current market price analysis. So you can see right here, back in December of 2024 to November, we saw the same exact play on Ethereum, pretty much same exact run-up opportunity, same exact resistance. And then, of course, once we broke out of this range right here at 3758, you can see that we had a move up to 3890. Then we had the sideways action, and this is where things get interesting, right? Look at where Ethereum, I'll draw the line here, give me a second. Look at where Ethereum actually ended up rejecting as of yesterday, right? So even with yesterday's move set, if I were to just draw a wick right here, we'll go follow along with it, but this is why I was careful with sending those long continuation trades. I was worried about this candle right here. You can see that this candle peaked at 39.51, dropped down to 36.83, and then of course the next day, that's when we saw the massive breakout on Ethereum. This is pretty much what I'm waiting for right now. I'm waiting for a wick down to around 36.83, which is, of course, here was the 9 exponential moving average. And again, the same sort of current momentum trade is the 9 exponential moving average on the daily at 36.83. This is why I'm just simply going to wait to see how the market reacts. Best case scenario, and you can see the pink line where Ethereum rejected, same area, right? This is how we know in terms of previous price analysis is how things play out for Ethereum. Our best case right now, of course, is a rejection into the 9 EMA. We hit that level, we bounce, we break above 39.51, and then, of course, we ride the long position to all-time high for Ethereum. Because that's pretty much what happened, right? During the previous bull run of, the last run-up, we had multiple rejections in that area. 40.28, you guys know 40.28 is the level. But now look at where we are in the current structure for Ethereum. This is where things get very interesting for us. This is now the third test on the daily time frame. And this is what I'm looking forward to for Ethereum for the massive breakout, is that if we end up seeing the squeeze at 39.51, we end up breaking above that wick, and then of course we head into 40.28, I don't think the bears are going to take control again. This is now the third test with Bitcoin trading at 118,000. I do think that this is going to be the leg up for Ethereum to end up hitting all-time high into the 5K to 6K region. This is where Ethereum's momentum is going to come if, of course, we end up breaking above 39.51. So it's a point of interest for us, right? Right now, we're not trading here. There's absolutely no reason to be trading in this current chop. I got a lot of messages today of, can we do this, can we do that? And I didn't reply to them. And the reason for that is I've told you guys force a trade out of me and then it ends up being pretty bad, right? We've seen it happen many times before where a lot of traders, what they do is they'll force trades and be like, okay, Pingu's not going to trade, so I'm going to take this trade because it looks like a long. And then you end up seeing a bearish engulf. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to end up a short. And then you end up getting faked out. In this current range, there's absolutely no reason to trade. We don't have a confirmation. We don't have a short confirmation. We haven't broken the previous resistance. Right now, it's acting as support. This is a time for you to just sit on your hands and see what the market does. Our trade on Ethereum, of course, is going to be a break structure above the exponential moving averages. Use that level as support and then our confirmation. That's the trade we want. That's the trade we're looking forward to in terms of Ethereum and altcoins in general. Now, I'm not going to touch too much in terms of the rest of the altcoins because you can see pretty much everything is in a slow bleed pattern, but I will talk about Doge. Now, I've been meaning to make an update on Doge. Obviously, it was a weekend, but my eyes on Doge are at 0.218. That's the level structure of interest for me because, again, this area was a previous resistance, but we never really retested it as support. The other problem is you can see that this was a massive area of bouncing for the Doge and bulls, but we have not broken above that level. We broke above, failed, and now we're heading right back in. And then if you pay attention, this is now the third test. So this is where things get very interesting, right? For Doge, I do think that we will most likely wick down to 0.218, and that lines up perfectly with Ethereum's analysis too in terms of 3683. The same wick opportunities are expected to happen, and that's why I'm being very cautious right now, right? In terms of Bitcoin, same thing. And when Bitcoin drops, everyone drops together. And that's why this current range, there's no point of taking guesses at it. Just wait for the level structures to play out and then go ahead and do whatever you guys want. Same with Solana, right? I had a lot of messages yesterday. Can we long Solana? Can we do this? Can we do that? No, right? Like, realistically, there wasn't a trade here. Like, sure, you could have entered a wick break at 189, but to me, it's like, why enter here when we have the major wick high here? I'd rather enter a trade like that and then ride it into all-time high. And that's personally what I do better. So I just want to quickly touch base on HBAR because this is something we also traded over the weekend, and I know a lot of you guys did make some money off this, but I just wanted to give you guys a perspective on exactly what happened here. So on HBAR, I talked about this many times, is HBAR was ready for a momentum trade. Why? So number one was Robinhood, right? So Robinhood ended up listing HBAR. I sent it in the chat and I said, look, Robinhood has listed HBAR. What does that mean for HBAR? That just simply means that there's going to be a lot of normie or a lot of normal retail folks that are looking to buy crypto. They're going to see, oh, HBAR, oh, 29 cents. Oh, what if it goes to $5? That's number one, was momentum, right? So this was the candle that it was listed on. You can see the first candle, of course, was the manipulation candle. Pretty much all these late shorts got squeezed, came back down, and then, of course, market started picking back up. I didn't send the trade until this wick break. And I said, look, if this wick break ends up happening on HBAR, number one, we have a V-shaped formation into 0.275. How did I know? Well, that's simply the top of the move set. More than likely, when you play V-shaped formation, so something like this, more than likely you end up hitting the top of the move set, and that's pretty much where the profit taking is happening. I did also mention that, look, this is now also a third test momentum play. Why? Because we already failed to break out twice. If the bulls can break above that zone, then we are heading into the 30-cent range. And you can see that HBAR did end up wicking at 30 cents and back down to the EMAs. In my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, if we're looking for a trade update, the next trade on HBAR is going to be wick high 30 into 33 cents. That level is going to be a major trade update because, again, looking at previous price analysis, it was a very strong major daily resistance, and I do think we're slowly creeping up into that level, but I would definitely keep eyes on HBAR, guys, in terms of lower time frames as well as higher time frames on the daily. I do think HBAR is one of those leverage trades that are very easy to do, and mostly if you catch it. You guys saw in terms of the whale chat, there was someone that made $133,000 off a swing on HBAR. It's because HBAR is one of those coins that it doesn't matter what the market is doing, it will do its own thing. And it's a very rare circumstance, but you can see that when we were dropping a Bitcoin Bitcoin down to 115, H-bar over the weekend actually started going upwards, right? Obviously, Robinhood listing had a part to play in this, but still, we can't ignore technical analysis. Regardless of Robinhood, we still had a V-shaped formation to play out. We still had a third test breakout to play out. There was a lot of opportunities on that trade in general. So what am I exactly looking for in terms for this week? Again, it's going to be around 36.83. Does it mean that, oh my God, 36.83 has to play for us? No, it doesn't mean that it has to play, right? The thing about previous price analysis is it's not perfect. And that's the thing. That's where you as a technical trader have to realize that, okay, hey, it bounced at this level and, we don't know if it's going to go to 36.83. What do I do? I'll make it very simple for you guys. If we don't get to 36.83 and then, of course, Ethereum ends up doing something like this, the trade opportunity is right here, this pink line. That is it. Make it very simple. If this pink line ends up breaking, I want everyone to long, right? Everyone should be taking a long position once we end up breaking the pink line. Otherwise, don't trade. Because what more than likely is going to happen, we're going to see something like this, and then chop, and then like that, and then like this, and like that's what you don't want happening, right? So again, best case scenario, 36.83 for us. That does not mean, okay, we're going to long at 36. No, that doesn't, listen, that's not the point of the conversation. This does not mean that we wait for 36.83 and then everyone start entering on a catching knife. No, we are not longing just because the market drops to that zone. Point is, I just want to see that zone be tested, then momentum come up, and then take all of these shorts with it into all-time high. That is the momentum we need for Ethereum for us to see the break into 40.28. Now, in terms of 40.28, that of course has already been tested twice. I'm expecting all of these folks right here that have already entered their short positions, have been swinging Ethereum. I'm expecting them to get wrecked. You can look at it from any way you want. This is not a chart to short. It does not make sense to enter shorts on Ethereum on the third test. And I said the same thing at Bitcoin at 110. You guys remember? I said, look, like realistically, don't be an idiot and short Bitcoin right here in this zone. This is now the third test. Same thing here. I said, I still have the circles drawn. I said, look, 1, 2, 3, breakout, right? That's why you never short in terms of daily time frame third test breakouts, because at that point you're trading with momentum, you're trading with all-time high, you're trading with news channels, everyone posting about it. It's not worth it. You're going to end up losing a lot of your money. So instead, just sit on your hands, be patient, and wait for Ethereum. This is the trade, guys. This is the trade. I don't know how else to put it. This is the trade. I've said that. I remember saying the same thing about the Trump candle during elections, and I said, please, everyone, listen, that is the trade. And we made so much money during the elections in terms of Trump winning. It was insane. And this is, I'm saying it again, and I'll say it one more time, is this is the trade, okay? This is the generational trade on Ethereum at 39.51. This is where you want to be. This is pretty much hoping for the fact that we end up breaking out and then, of course, squeezing into at least 40.28, which is still a $100 move almost on Ethereum. But best case scenario, we break 40.28, and now we're talking back into all-time high territory, and that is the momentum candle you guys want to end up trading. So, again, everything is free in this channel for those of you that are just joining in. I don't do anything. I have a free Telegram. Everything's absolutely free. I'll link it real quick. But seriously, guys, like seriously, start taking this properly and actually focusing in terms of leverage, because I've talked about this many times before. These are very free setups, right? They're very free. They're very easy to do. As long as you enter in terms of the wick breaks, you can make money in this channel. And that's, otherwise there's no trade, right? There's no point of you entering a trade setup if I don't have one. Like right now, I don't have a trade setup. There really isn't much trade here. So that's, again, best case scenario for you guys. Just be patient with everything, let the market come to you, and then of course enter the trade setup. So that's pretty much it. On a quick 15-minute stream. I know it sucks. I know you guys want me to do longer streams, but then that's where people be like, check this out, check that out, check that. I don't have time to analyze everything. I just mainly focus on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some altcoins. But the point of the conversation is, just before we head off for the night, I just wanted to let you guys know, take some profits. This comes from leverage, spot, and everything. Like, you guys see me swinging, troll for like 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand, and whatever. Like, to me, my risk tolerance is very high. I've been doing this for 10 years. I don't care. I don't care. Like, realistically, it doesn't matter to me if I lose 100 grand, right? I know I can make it back. But for a lot of you guys that are in like spot positions like Pengu and all of these things, and you've seen the bull run and 4 years of it, and you're up so much money, it's not a bad idea to take some profits. It really isn't. So that'll end. I'll let you think about that for the rest of the night. But of course, if you guys need anything, I'll be in Asia hours for Telegram. Check out the pin, or rather link in the bio if you guys, of course, want to start leverage. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys for Asia. Peace out.